the beach, I like sunsets. So I just wanted to share a little bit with you. And today I'm going to show you some inspirational things that we are going to talk about. And this is the first one. And I may read something related to this video. I just want you to listen. It was very interesting for me.
I remember years ago when I first came to Mount Washington. I'd never thought of this before. I don't remember learning it in my former religious affiliation. But from the moment I set foot in Mount Washington, Master taught us at the end of our meditations to pray for people. Always we closed our meditation forgetting ourselves, having communed with God, then to pray for mankind. Years later, he thought of this, what we call the Worldwide Prayer Council. And we established that principle in all of our centers and among our members throughout the world. Now, thought has tremendous power because out of thought, all action springs. And everything that is finite in this world is the result of thought. Therefore, the most powerful force in this world is thought. Therefore, if that be true, then thought has the power to affect lives. And not only lives, but communities and nations. And if this be so, it is important that that thought be positive rather than negative. There are millions of people in this world who are thinking in a negative way and are also acting in a negative way, isn't it? Therefore, it is in the interest of ourselves and in the interest of mankind that we all take an active part in praying for mankind. That powerful vibration of the combined thought of goodness and of love and of kindness and compassion and positive behavior is a mighty force which has the power to change lives all over this world. And so I urge all of you this evening, and all of those who may hear my voice in the future, to join in that worldwide pursuit of God communion, of prayer, that we might contribute our part toward changing the world and the course which it is bent upon taking. We can do it. One voice, the voice of Christ, uttered centuries ago, picked up by a handful of disciples, and those disciples spreading it to other disciples and down through the ages, 2,000 years almost to, that one voice was able to transform millions upon millions of people all over this world. Shall we not join his voice and the voice of our Guru and the voice of the teachers of all religions, all of those good saintly souls, and contribute our part towards striving to change the course of this world? We can and we must do it, and we must have the faith to believe it can be done, because I know it can be done. But each one of you here, I tell you, each one of you must do your part. Don't think, well, I heard Dayama, she spoke well, now let me get back. That will have no meaning. My voice, my hope is to touch the very core of your beings with this thought. Change your lives by following these simple suggestions given by Guruji. Join every day in this vast, loosely knitted but strong family of individuals praying for the well-being of the world and for the well-being of every individual.
I want you to see that this video was broadcast, recorded in 1980. So Dayamata was the president of Self-Realization Fellowship, the organization of Paramahansa Yogananda. She passed away, I don't remember, early 2000. And I had that video, a friend of mine sent it to me, I think on Saturday and Sunday. I was impressed by the power of this woman, the conviction of this woman. I was really impressed. And that was exactly 40 years ago. Dayamata, when she went to India, she went to Babaji's cave. Babaji is a yogi that has been around for thousands of years. There are accounts, written things. It doesn't matter. But it's a great saint that brought this sacred technique of pranayama, of Kriya Yoga. Oh, thank you, Goddess. Look, I didn't have the microphone. Oh my God. Okay. I will have to start all over again. I am so sorry. I will repeat the last part. A friend of mine sent me this video, I don't know, a month ago, and I watched it on Sunday. Dayamata, this nun, was the president of Self-Realization Fellowship, the organization founded by Paramahansa Yogananda for, I don't know, 40 years. She passed away in the 2000, I don't know, 15 years ago. I don't remember. And I was impressed by the power of her voice. And this video was recorded in an annual convocation. Self-Realization Fellowship makes a convocation where all members, devotees, gather together here in Los Angeles. And that was recorded in 1980, 40 years ago, urging to pray for the world. We have the custom in our spiritual path that at the end of every meditation we pray for all those in need, and at the end we raise our hands and chant Om, sending vibration for peace and brotherhood to humankind. Paramahansa Yogananda instituted this custom in 1940s. And I know that he was foreseeing what we are going through right now. And well, the Second World War was right there. So, the important thing that Dayamata says about the power of thoughts, because thoughts bring actions. And don't you think, do you remember the comments that I did on the video of Gigi Yang, that we have this collective shadow, and when we don't confront our weak areas in our life, if we have to work on our self-esteem or not giving our power, on our depression, anxiety, whatever, this brings a toxic energy that feeds this collective shadow or dark energy. Well, Dayamata, when she went to India, one of the times went to see Babaji's cave. Babaji is the yogi that is, how can I do this? Right there in my, that one. It's a yogi that has been around for thousands of years. Yes, there are people who can live thousands of years. And he brought this sacred meditation technique of Kriya Yoga. This is what I practiced since I was 19, I believe. And when the Yamata went to see that cave, luckily I will go in January to India. It's the first time. The Yamata had a vision that the world was covered by the black cloud and was scary. But she said, it will pass, it will pass. So I want you to know that what we just had, or the crisis that we are still in, especially for people from Argentina and South America, they are literally with these totalitarian governments. They are still on jail. It will pass. However, we may have another shakes in humankind. Shakes means that we are going to be shaken again until humankind is more or less in their knees, hitting rock bottom and knowing that we need to take the spiritual path. And I will read a little bit. My friend also sent me these words. And I think it's related to this video. Spiritual beings from all religious paths play a decisive role in the raising of world consciousness during times of unrest. This was written also, I don't know, decades ago. And I will read it again. Spiritual beings from all religious paths, that means all of you, me, and everyone else, play a decisive role in the raising of world consciousness during times of unrest. While medical professionals combat disease, political leaders address social justice, and groups of individuals demonstrate for change, the spiritual activist emanates the power of love from his private seat of meditation and prayer. Through the solitary pursuit of raising his own consciousness to increasingly higher vibration rates of spiritual realization, the yogi meaningfully assists the evolution of mankind. It moves me to think of the countless yogis and God lovers of all faiths who are praying for world peace and brotherhood every day during their meditation practices. Onward and upward, dear friends. And then says about this video recorded in 1980. Okay, this is very nice. We are talking about the positive thoughts, right? But we human beings are very stubborn. We are extremely stubborn. And this is a principle that I studied in internet marketing. We take action. 2/3. This is the whole humankind. 2/3 take action only when there is pain and suffering. Only when there is pain and suffering. If you have read that book, The Dark Night of the Soul, that means when we human beings hit rock bottom and then wake up. And then we realize that money doesn't bring happiness. Probably this romantic relationship that we were fantasizing about, it doesn't exist. I mean, it's possible to live well and happy with a person, but we have to work for that. When we don't have health, when we don't have the security, we don't know if we are going to get food because we have a crisis like that. So then, when nothing else works, human being says, okay, I will take care of my soul. It's never late to take care of our soul. And I'm going to show you the other side of the coin, because I show you one video and I'm going to show you another one. And this is what happened. In 2016, I went to a big conference, the Life Conscious. I will try to look for the. There we go. I went to this conference and I went to see Greg Braden, which is a very famous person, and he talks about the divine matrix, because he comes from the scientific point of view. All the yogis of India, they know that we are all connected. I remember when I met this great healer friend of mine, and we just met, and one day I was supposed to show up into her home to do a recording, and we didn't exchange phones yet because we just met. And while I was driving to her home, I felt that that this meeting was not going to happen. So I get there and she told me, oh, Carlos, I'm sorry, we cannot do it because a friend of mine has the daughter with cancer or something like that. I have to run to do healing. So I felt this. So I told her, we are connected, because I felt that. And she smiled and says, yes, we are connected. But at that time, I didn't have any clue. All right. I went to this workshop of Greg Braden. I told this story before. I don't know if in English or in Spanish. And Greg Braden works with the Heart Math Institute. By the way, next Tuesday, I will bring a friend, student, and client of mine who studied in the Heart Math Institute. So he will talk about what they do there. And he's Indian. So Greg Braden do things with the Heart Math Institute, and they develop a meditation technique that is nothing different of the meditation techniques that I know, but they do it in a more scientific way. So he put a sensor on my ear that will measure the coherence between my heart and the mind, because with this simple meditation technique, the heart slows down, the breathing slows down, and there is a connection between the heart and the mind. And then the mind calms down, which is the goal of meditation, of being a yogi, to calm the mind where we can perceive deeper states of consciousness. So when he asked for a volunteer, I said, I go. And this is what's happened. I was there. I'm just going to put the other camera, if you bear with me for a second. So I went to the stage and I was practicing that meditation technique. Compassion and care. And you breathe this feeling. Okay, and you passion and care. Create I am explaining the meditation technique that Greg asked me to practice in the stage. Oh, I know what happened. I did a thing with India. Oh, yes, you're right. Let me see. Hello, 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 hello. Now? Is it better now? Yes, because I changed the settings here the other day. Is it better now, Nancy? Yes, because I need to change. Hello, hello. Oh, it's too loud now. Hello, hello. Yes, now it's better. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, let me just listen to myself 4 years ago.
Very deep and strong feeling of love, compassion, and care. And you breathe this feeling, and you breathe out that feeling, and you focus on your heart. This technique is used by law enforcement to calm the brain because of the stressful work that they do. Greg asked for a volunteer to do this technique. I forgot to tell you that this technique produces an entrainment between the brain and the heart. An entrainment means, in this case, that the brain will feel the calmness of the heart and works like wonder. I went to the stage, I sat down on a chair, Greg put a sensor in the lobe of my ear connected to his computer where there was a software that was going to measure the activity, my brain activity through this point, and put it in a graph. The line of the graph produced by the sensor was supposed to fall between these two blue lines if the experiment was successful, if my meditation was successful. When I went to the stage, I said, I've been practicing meditation since I was 19. It's going to be a piece of cake for me. And it really was. I felt all this energy of love and calmness, and my brain was calming down. However, within a few minutes, all of a sudden, my mind went blank. Actually, I saw a gray shield.
Okay, I was there in the stage.
It looks like an energy blockage.
I forgot about that, but I will explain that.
As I explained you before, that they are gray clouds. I saw a very clear gray shield. And I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I didn't know where I was. I had conscious that I was, but I didn't know. I was like kind of lost. Like trying to wake up from this bad dream where you know that you have
So I was in the stage.
to get out, but you can't.
And all of a sudden I was enjoying, there was a music, a soft music. And all of a sudden my consciousness went great. Everything was great. I didn't know where I was. There were, 100 people there. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I was totally lost, but I knew that I was. I knew that I had a consciousness. That was the interesting state I was.
And a few seconds later, I recovered consciousness. I remember what I was supposed to do, and I kept practicing this heart-focused breathing exercise. At the end of the practice, Greg complimented my practice, and he noticed that there was a little discontinuity, and he dismissed it because the line went very well between these two lines.
Okay, I will do it live now. So, the line was supposed to be straight, and the left arrow shows that the line was going straight between the two blue lines and went horizontal for a while. At the end of the workshop that was 2 hours long, a young man, about 30-something, comes to me, stuttering and very worried, and said, I'm sorry for what I did. I looked at him and said, but what did you do? When you were in the stage, I wanted to prove myself if this energetic field that connects us all really exists. That Greg Braden calls it the divine matrix. It's called the energy field. There are other names. Jesus called it the light. So when you were in the stage, mentally, I closed my eyes and I was doing a headlock to you. I think I put it in the video. So mentally, he was choking me. After a while, he opened his eyes and he saw that the line was horizontal, wasn't going up. So I asked the man that is coming next Tuesday, what does it mean that the line is horizontal? That the entrainment, the connection, the synchronicity between the heart and the mind was totally lost. This is dangerous because I was like a zombie. So, my friends, this is what negative thoughts do. If Dayamata says the power of thoughts, well, that example that I just gave you
Temporary.
shows the effects of negative thoughts. Eh? Okay, I simplify there.
Discontinuity. This is a time when my mind went blank. And the experiment just started. Because there was a second experiment unannounced. At the end of the experiment, as I was gathering,
Well, I am talking about what I just told you. So, what was that? That was the negative energy that this man was doing. He did it on purpose. Yes, he did it on purpose, but he didn't have the aim to kill me or do something. Now comes the juicy part. Have you ever had a foggy mind? Have you ever had a day that you cannot think straight? Do you remember no, you are too young, the song of Pink Floyd, I can't think straight now? Well, what happens when we cannot think straight? Something like this man. We have somebody having tons of negative thoughts about us, trying to choke us, trying to do this and that. What do we learn from this? We need to be careful with our thoughts. We need to watch our thoughts that maybe arise because of feeling of pain, frustration, anger, resentment. Even if we were wrong by someone else, we need to watch. Because nowadays we cannot afford to contribute to the darkness, the toxic energies of the world. Do I make myself clear? Do you understand what I'm saying? I would love you to tell me, because I don't want to be talking to the walls. And I told you example like that. Please tell me if you understand what I just said. I'm going to see if there is anybody here. No. And I told you other examples that I was thinking about something and somebody that picked up my thoughts. Okay, fantastic. I'm glad that is clear. But think about this experiment, and the video is there. The video that where is the video? You can watch the whole video, but this is in my YouTube channel. Here. And there is a man. The reason I am showing this video, because there is a man that a month ago wrote in that video as a comment, this video should go viral. Instead, look at what the media is trying to project. This is a month ago. So this man saw what the media is doing with the negative news. So we have to take responsibility of our thoughts, of our emotions, because we cannot change anything. But if we do, little by little, that's the way that the world will change. We cannot wait for the neighbor to change, for our partner to change, for our family, for our friends. We have to change, because we have no choice. All right, let's do the 15 minutes meditation. And at the end of the meditation, let's bring thoughts of love and peace. Love and peace to the world. And the other takeout of this presentation today is, whenever we meditate, even if we believe, oh, my meditations are a disaster because whatever we do is helping the world, is much better than nothing. This is why we have a kind of responsibility to try to meditate deeper. And the only way to go deep is to meditate every day. All right. Meditation. We sit straight with the back straight without leaning on the back of the chair. We take a deep breath and tense the whole body. We do this 3 times. And we do a prayer. You do whatever prayer you want to say. I always recommend not to use the word universe, because this is wrong. In the whole universe there is the good, the bad and the ugly. Just talk to God. The God that Jesus talked about, that Krishna talked about, that Paramahansa Yogananda talked about. It's a very well known, or we have to know. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, saints and sages of all religions, we come to Thee to sit at Thy feet of omnipresence, to receive Thy blessings, Thy protection and Thy guidance, and to offer Thee all the love of our hearts. We are going to practice this breathing technique. We breathe to the count of 6 or more if you can, or less if you can't. Like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We hold the breathing to the same count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we exhale to the same count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We do it for a couple of minutes. Now we are going to just follow our breath, putting our consciousness in the lungs, watching the air coming in and out of the lungs, without forcing the breathing. Always we have the eyes lifted gently to the Christ consciousness, the spiritual eye, the point between the eyebrows. And to the watching of the breath, of the breathing. The attention has to be in the spiritual light. The attention also, we have to have the consciousness that we are breathing and just following the breath. We do it for 1 minute or 2. And now we are going to mentally repeat the Sanskrit words Hong So. When we inhale, we mentally say Hong, H-O-N-G. And when we exhale, we mentally say So, Sa, S-A-W, that in Sanskrit means I am Him, I am God. We are remembering and reclaiming our divine nature, with the eyes gentle lifted to the point between the eyebrows, following the breath without forcing it, and mentally saying Hong, Hong on the inhalation, and So in the exhalation. Now, we are going to practice a simple pranayama. Pranayamas are meditation techniques that move the energy up and down the spine to clean and energize the chakras. That replaces energy healing if we practice every day. We just visualize a white light at the base of the spine, and when we breathe in, this energy enters the base of the spine and goes up from the first chakra to the second and so on, up the spine, the throat chakra, the back of the head, the neck, where the medulla oblongata is, the top of the head, and ends up in the spiritual eye. Makes a curve following the exterior part of our head, the back, the top, and the front. And when the exhalation comes naturally, that sphere of energy goes back up to the head, to the medulla oblongata, the neck, throat chakra, heart, solar plexus, second and first. Without forcing the breath, we accommodate the visualization to the normal breathing. When we breathe in, this sphere of energy goes up from the coccyx to the spiritual eye, going through all the spine, up. And when we exhale from the spiritual eye, down to the coccyx, down the spine. With this simple exercise, we are cleansing and strengthening, energizing our spine and our chakras. On time, this energetization of the spine allows us to meditate for longer periods in total relaxation, without pain and without distractions. In the last minute of our 15 minutes meditation, we are going to visualize the whole world with all the people, because what needs healing is not the world, not the animals, not the rivers, not the forest. What needs healing is the people. And visualize the world. We can visualize it between our hands with a white light, and we can mentally affirm peace and harmony, peace and harmony mentally. And we see the light, a white light covering the whole world and dissipating the darkness. Peace and harmony, peace and harmony. If we have a specific person that we don't get along with, we can do it with that person, family members, friends, surrounded by a white light, and we just mentally say peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Alright, we are going to do our group healing. Repeat after me. You can do it out loud. All the things toxic, dark and negative that ever came into me before my birth, after my birth, and until now, all those things must leave me now and return to where they came from. They don't belong to me. Now we are going to say it again with a consciousness that we are literally talking to all the toxic energies that we may have. All the things toxic, dark and negative that ever came to me, that ever came into me before my birth, after my birth, and until now, all those things must leave me now and return to where they came from. They don't belong to me. So lay down in a comfortable place with the hands on the sides, fingers open. The reason is, if we do a fist, some toxic energies may not leave because we are blocking them. If we touch our legs, some toxic energies that live through our hands may enter our legs again. If we have to put our hands over our legs, we do it with the palms up and fingers open and the legs straight. Make a healing intention, whatever may be bothering you. I don't want this pain in the middle of my chest. I don't want this preoccupation. I don't want this unnecessary suffering. And then a deeper intention, I want the root cause of all this that is bothering me to be removed. Once I had a client, and this woman said, I ask my clients to say the intention mentally. It's something between them and God. If they have a trauma that they don't want me to know, I don't need to know. God knows. And this woman said it out loud, and she said, I don't want any pain, any toxic energies in my body anymore. Period. I want all I want them all out. No more toxic energies. She had an amazing session. That so profound was a session that she gave me a video testimonial right there. I put my camera and I did it, and I record her. So this is a good intention. I don't want any toxic energy in my body anymore. Period. God, do whatever you want. Hola Andrea, ¿cómo te va? We start the session right now. As I am doing for the last month or so, I will go to my meditation place. I'll be back. I will put the music. It's better for me and it's better for you. The session starts now. I need to find the music. I know. I hope you are very relaxed. I am. Thank you, whoever it was in Facebook. Thank you, Goddess. I really appreciate that, because sometimes, believe me, it takes a little effort from me to come here. But this is in these times that there is so much toxic energy, and everything takes me more effort. Thank you, Kwata. What did you feel? And regarding what the Goddess says, this is beautiful. Look what the Goddess says. Since we have an energy field surrounding us, social distances is keeping each us away from each other, but only physically. No connection, especially with a mask on. I feel fear coming from others, and also other negative toxic energies. I understand the safety issues, and I understand why others are feeling the way they are, so I send them love. This is phenomenal. Congratulations, Goddess. You see, we learn from each other. We are being controlled. I go home and meditate. Send love out to the world. I pray. We need the connection with God. Afterwards, I feel clearer and happy. I get rid of toxic energies and thoughts. Fantastic. That's what we need to do. Jules Lubin, how are you? I just want to say thank you, Kwata, for telling me this. They are not my teachings. I repeat like a parrot what I learned from the great masters, like Jesus, Paramahansa, Yogananda. Those are principally everything that I learned from. I don't have that much other teachers. I show you. Okay, you have a virtual payment, Goddess. For those who speak Spanish, tomorrow my very good friend Jorge will give another of his amazing workshops. It's going to be a solo program. I'm just going to introduce him and enjoy his energy processes. So for those who speak Spanish, tomorrow at 4. And to summarize what we were saying, Goddess, thank you so much to share that. So in summary, yes, I feel the fear of people with masks. I also feel the shame because they know that the mask doesn't do anything, but they use the mask for fear that an authority figure will tell them, like a police or whatever, that police doesn't do that, that they have to put the mask. But what I wanted to tell also, in the lines that Goddess said, we have social distancing, but it's physical. I don't know about you, but I meditate so deeply. I felt so much energy and love during this meditation, the 15 minutes, and the group healing, that that's a proof, a very tangible proof that we are all connected by this energy field. And I really, where is the video? In the video here, I'm going to show you this. What is screen capture? Look, this is the video that I was showing to you. And in the videos I am saying that this energy field that Greg Braden talks about is called Mother Earth in 18th worldwide. In 1928, Max Planck, that came up with the quantum physics, he calls it the matrix. But it's called the ether by Einstein, by Paramahansa Yogananda, and the physicists of the 1900s.
The yogi from India who brought a scientific meditation technique. The divine matrix that...
Well, this is, I really don't like the divine matrix because it has the connotation of this movie that is so bizarre. It has some truth, but I don't like it. So the field of information, Adam McLeod, which is a doctor, which is a great healer in Vancouver. I went to interview him in 2016. And I think that's all. Let me see. Yeah. So all these people call it in different ways. And in general, it's the same, exactly the same thing. But the ether, in the Greeks, came up with the word spirit, and spirit means invisible forces that affects our physical world. Invisible forces that affect the physical world. So that idea of that we are all connected, everybody knew it in one way or another. What happened is, for people who are so disconnected with the spirit, with spirituality, with meditation, with God, they need a scientific explanation. So they came with a matrix of Max Planck, 1928. So Greg Braden didn't coin that term. And it's like we are all in the ocean. Somebody makes waves and affects everybody. Of course, we don't feel it that much. But I have a friend. Today I did 2 videos, one in English, which is in Instagram. Those who have Instagram can watch that. Another in Spanish in my Carlos Reiki page. And I was talking about why most people, and I'm going to ask you again, Quata and everyone in YouTube, did you feel weak this weekend again? You see, somebody that is here now sent me an email of a very traumatic situation that she lived this weekend, and I told her, look, I felt so weak and with so much lack of energy. We need to forgive ourselves, because it's not us, are the external toxic energy circumstances that we are living in. So last weekend, this weekend, the 27th and the 28th, and the weekend before, the 20th and the 21st, there were some deep energetic processes done with the objective to minimize the toxic energies in the world. And that produced a lot of waves that everybody, you see, Goddess also was draining. And I will tell you what happened. Somebody was literally moving away the toxic, deep toxic energies from people that are in the news, in the social media, in governments, making a deep intention to replace the darkness that is making them do these wrong decisions against the freedom of humankind, of the people they are governing, and on all the world. They were doing a specifically process to get out these energies. It's like a kind of forcing an energy healing, which cannot be done, but there are people who try to help, and we all felt it. These toxic energies came like alive, trying, I don't know, to defend themselves, but they cause chaos in the world. This is what it is. For me to say that, you know, I am very careful. I don't say things out in the clouds. I am very grounded. But I want you to know this is what happened. And I'm going to talk to this person and tell him, hold on for a while. We had enough. Because I was weak the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. On Wednesday, last week I recovered my energies. And again this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I said, don't do that anymore. Just let's go slowly. Sounds like crazy, right? Okay, what we have to do, the best way is to change our consciousness and go deep in meditation and contact God and bring light to ourselves. and that light will start spreading out the darkness. Every night, as I told you many times, I meditate there is an online meditation center from Self-Realization Fellowship, and we are 350 to 400 souls meditating together all over the world. We have to have our cameras on, we are in Zoom, and you see people in the darkness like myself at 9 p.m., people at daylight time from India, from Europe, and we are all meditating together, and the energy is so powerful. So we are 350 to 400 people bringing light, and then at the end we do the meditation technique, the healing technique for peace and brotherhood through all humankind. So right now this is the best thing we can do, bring peace and harmony. It doesn't mean that if we have some information to help other people to lose the fear, we share. You know, I am an activist. Those who follow me in Facebook, they know my position is very clear regarding this crisis, regarding vaccinations. Those who are in Facebook, go to my Facebook page and see the video that I put when my son was very ill because excessive vaccination. But now, to close this is a big takeout for me. After I explained to you, I show you this experiment with Greg Braden, that I was meditating and this guy closed his eyes and started doing the headlock, choking me. And my entrainment, the correlation, the coherence between my heart and my brain that was going beautifully up, yes, beautifully up, was interrupted and then went horizontal. That is like I was dead. The coherence between the brain and the heart stopped, and they kept going up. Guess what? If there is a way to affect humankind to that deep state of confusion and create this fogginess, probably some evil people will do it. And medications do that. Living a life that is not healthy will do that. And how do we know? Well, every time that we do something and our mind is foggy, we cannot think straight. And these 2 weekends, that's what happened, because Goddess and everyone else that I talked to, we were drained, we were weak. I was so sleepy, I had to take a couple of naps a day. And it was so hard to wake up in the morning. Well, this is why today, between 2 clients, I had 2 hours, I went hiking, and in this hike I made 2 videos, and I came back so happy, just being in nature for 1 hour. So we need to go to nature more. Those who can, because there are people in countries that they cannot even go to nature. But we have to double our efforts to be at peace. And again, when we feel like that, drained, a foggy mind, sometimes it's not us. Are external circumstances doing that? This is a big challenge for that. I have a little sticker that says, yes, God is testing you every day. All right, my friends. Next Tuesday, Clau, podemos comunicarnos cuando quieras. Next Tuesday, my friend Mutu, who is graduated from the HeartMath Institute, will be here, will explain. Probably I will do the meditation. I will see if he can come to my home, so he hooks up the computer with a sensor, and you will see that beautiful curve. What meditation does scientifically. All right, I love you all. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. in Spanish, at 4 p.m. with my friend Jorge, and Thursday 6 p.m. in Spanish, and Friday, 1 p.m. in Spanish. Bye bye. How strange. All right.